There he is on the far outside.
Hasn't been easy getting here.
Whatever it is, he can pull it off.
James Stewart, only 16 years of age. In fact, he only turned 16 just a few weeks ago on December 21st. He would be the...
Stewart, except for the two people that were still stuck in that first corner, clear up this front battle.
Stewart from Haines City, Florida.
What Stewart had to do, rather, was run a preliminary qualifier this afternoon just to get into the program.
Team number 27.
Through the loop. This is where Stewart is so strong.
There are those who have said over the past year as Stewart goes right by Roderick Tane that he may be
outside. Gosler's taking the same line, but
and down goes Stewart through the whoop section.
A little over anxious right there. He knew that was a good section for him. He was trying to set himself up for the next set of whoops where he could make the pass.
Finally gets it going and back on the bike to get it started and off and riding. But what a horrible break for the youngster.
The way he works that bike to keep it low. This is the big set of whoop-de-doos. They're like jumps. They don't.
Number 259 on the Kawasaki. He's under the Chevy Trucks tent.
Not a good run through the whoops that time. Riders are doing all they can do to get up on that and not lose the time.
Just 125 qualifier, the 125 West Division.
See if he gets up on this plateau.
He was going to do that. There was a crash earlier, and he decided that it was best not to rub it in. Is in that final qualifying position with McGavran behind him.
Tony Harrison is coming back in 1995. Stewart is our leader, Davey.
James Stewart. he only needs to ride it in his flow and relax a little bit. He got into his flow, actually, from Davey's vantage point down there to really see much of the racetrack. So you can see him right. His dad says that he seems to
He won the LCQ and has put him in the main event. He took a second place.
Watch what they passed right here. Pingree
went down.
End over.
Stewart still making his way up through the pack.
Completely going for it right now. Keep it on the way it goes off the jumps. He keeps looking over to see where the lead.
Time went right by him.
We keep talking about how smart he is. That was
Has a 3-second lead on Gosler as we take a look at the real battle coming. This guy is going to make a mistake.
Stewart clear back in 13th. That's going to allow everyone to close the gap.
James Stewart.
Actually, he's got a long ways to go, Art. He's got the whoops.
Hung up on that turn, and Casey Lido takes over second place. It's Gosler in first, but blitzing the whoop.
And a couple times today, and he didn't feel intimidated at all. He's going, I can.
He also had it elevated for about 2 hours. Tried to keep the foot higher than his heart. By the results of
It's very fast. Buckaloo and Seller with Stewart in a very, very bad accident. And Stewart
Even faster. This kid isn't intimidated by anything.
James to go to the LCQ as we take a look at our leader. Zipping through those moves.
Take a look at this in slow motion. The body stays still. The arms and legs are the shock absorbers. A lot of guys commenting on, man, that bike is fast. See,
Gosler, Buckaloo, Sellers, Elliott are top 5 as the top 9 qualify for the main event out of the...
after watching him limp to the line and having to see him start that bike, he looked angry, Art. He was shaking his head like, come on.
That's the differentiator.
And obviously he's out there working as hard as he can right now, and that's what we can do.
Beautiful
Clark, Elliott, Ahoff, Short, Sellers.
rhythm that the 250s were doing. And I got to tell you, Art,
The race, looking for the checkers. James Stewart whipping the...
got a little too close and actually pushed James over onto one of the toughs on the track.
look at him go. Kid is just...
At San Diego in the second round. He crashed in every race, but
And what I really like about him is he's brave. You know, I watched him try to do a triple today that only the 250s were doing, and he cased it, almost went down, circled right back around, went after it again, and made it perfect. In the 125 title.
Viejo had trouble. Viejo and Decker now has moved into 10th behind the number 9.
Gosler, who's been the only rider this season in his division that has been able to match Stewart's speed.
Gosler has had a
make up for a bad start. This is the rhythm.
James Stewart went out tonight to prove himself.
Obviously, Mike's having some trouble.
Stewart with tremendous focus going through those loops.
He's going through everywhere. It doesn't look like he's backed off much. The power band. He's always in the right gear.
The beginning of the season didn't go with the Pro Circuit Kawasaki support team, but went into the big.
This loop section and the next one, if he gets through all this, he's got it.
Stewart, Reed, Gosler, Tedesco, Danny Smith up to 5th. As we're on the final lap.
Look at him get into the whoops right here. Those things are like trash barrels turned on in. They're so deep to be able to jump back into the 125 class and something within reason and then some to make up ground. Look at it down the lap time.
Yeah, he's amazing. His lap time 59.05, where Preston is going 59.50. So gradually, it's really coming down to guess who comes out.
Yeah, he is so aggressive. I mean, when I saw him jump the triple a few laps back, and lap times are as good as Stewart's. They were really close in practice. He's riding like that number 1 belongs on his motorcycle.
25 main event.
Be able to click off another, I don't know, quarter to a half a second a lap. And that looks huge when you're the leader and you glance over your shoulder and you see the guys gain that. Oh, he's getting close. He's so close, Todd. And the crowd is starting to stand up. They can sense this. They're going to come around and get the white flags.
First, Stewart's going to have to make a run. If any chance at the victory, it's going to be right here. Regional 20 riders. 6 laps, top 9 to the main. The 11 others go to the LCQ.
Preston's got to follow him through the pack to have a shot at beating him.
So right now it goes Anderson, Walker, and Stewart, your top.
Oh, I don't believe these guys stayed up. That was Preston 2 times in a row just getting pinched off the track.
Anderson, so it goes Walker, Stewart, Anderson, and Preston, your top 4.
It was stuck to the inside. That's going to allow Walker a better run. Look at this. Another triple coming up after the whoops that he was able to do. He's coming out of this right-hander just after the whoops. See if he does it this time. He's still got time to maybe pick up one more position before the end. Stewart is just long gone. 10-second lead. But there's a possibility that this is a little bit of a tribute to McGrath. You know, McGrath's not out here.
Well, I'm just handed a stat by our stage manager, David Stanfield, saying how James Stewart Jr. is doing 2 seconds faster on every lap.
Where he planned on being, he's already gotten passed by David Pingree, who's worked his way into second. So Pingree, that was
leaping through.
And Stewart was only able to double right there. He messed up the whoops.
James Stewart continues to give the fans here at Pacific Bell Park a show.
He's having a good time out there. Only goes for the...
Well, the white flag is out. White flag is out, excuse me, with 1 lap to go.
Here's over the triple. It must be unbelievable for the guys in second. It's tripled all the way into the corner. That was sweet.
Meanwhile, out in front, number 259, James Stewart.
Terrible start. Andrew Short still in this race. The kid is amazing. You know, I mean, I don't want to just flags out everywhere. He still blasts into those whoops because they're off to the...
James Stewart, lucky helmet and all. Where do you find the weaknesses? Or do you? Or do you just
attempt to see what's possible because he's not afraid.
Look at him just fly. Kawasaki, and I think everyone wants to know, when is this kid going to go to 250? And Bruce said, you know, this is the 125 main from Anaheim, California. James Stewart Jr. on board his Kawasaki. For champ, does he?
No, he really does. Here comes another triple. Flat lands it. It doesn't matter. He's so young and so resistant.
James Stewart starting to make his run.
He's already up into 3rd position. There's the leaders. Hamblin coming the other way. He's going to get some pressure here because Stewart is gaining right here. Watch how fast. Geez. Just blew by Hamblin right there, and he blows by Short.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Heat number 2. Remember, we started with 20. Well, here comes Stewart on the outside. Don't jinx him.
Scratch that.
Oh, my
Stewart
goodness.
in the lead. Unbelievable.
So it goes Stewart, Hamblin, Adams, Smith, he knows how fast Travis Preston has been in practice. And look at him just flashes through that whoop section. Right her down. So James will have to float on just a little bit. Blows. As we look at the Honda stopwatch, and there you see it. You know, he passed Tyler Evans. And Tyler Evans is a pretty strong rider. I know his bike's really fast because I had a chance to ride it yesterday. So it's just a lot of great talent out here.
Even that going into that corner before the whoops, no one else can do. Walker's getting sideways. Riders are already setting his sights on the whoop section. And under caution, he's going through.
Well, eat his dust, I guess, for a lack of better words. Stewart out in front.
Stewart's coming. You know, he's
James Bubba Stewart, and I'm wondering if Travis Preston, the rest, the guys from the 250 class are out here.
And I mean, way out in front already is Stewart.
Unbelievable. What do you think the chances are? They'll just wave the...
A lot bigger in the next 3 laps. I cannot believe the difference in talent and speed.
Stewart is racing out there against a bunch of Todd Harrises. I mean, these guys are very talented riders, and he...
Through him, whatever it takes. Gets around Tiger Lacey.
Notice to Travis Preston that he plans on taking that number 1.
He can fall back and ride the 125 East, try to win a title on both coasts, and then move up to 250 for good.
He is coming down to the final few laps. You take a look at the Honda stopwatch, and there...
I don't see any coincidence to this. Should they ever end up in that situation again? I don't know that they're going to, but if they do, should I pass him, or what should I do here?
I'd stay right with it. You'll be in about 1 million photographs.
Remember, there's 20 riders in this heat, 6 laps, top 9 to the main, and oh! There is that natural ability. Anyone else would have lost the bike. A few weekends ago in Dallas, Texas, and he is on a tear here in Salt Lake City. He said,
watch him into this whoop section. Listen to the power. He just heads in there with so much more speed than everybody else, and it takes a lot of nerve, but once you get in there going that fast, look at that. He just blitzes through there. He's got it under control. All moms worry.
no question.
Look at that, just back and forth. That's a tough whoop section. If James is having problems with it, it's hard.
James Stewart just blitzes through that whoop section, comes across, throws.
Stewart was able to clear. Lanovich decided, he laid up. He still got second. But I like Lanovich, even though he laid up there and let Stewart go, if he's that far ahead already. Lanovich still doing a great job of keeping his margin over 3rd place, but now 3rd place is Matt Walker. So
welcome back to Salt Lake City.
Pick up 1 position, but I don't think he's going to be able to get by Short, who sits in 4th right now. That's only 4 points that Lanovich will pick up on him. Not quite enough. He needed 5 more. Stewart, meanwhile, out there racing for the lead. The kid is just, you know, that's what it's like when you're 16. You're 17, he just turned 17. It's unbelievable.
17.
You know, the resilience that you have and the desire that you had, but there's no question in my mind that Stewart is going to make more money than any rider ever has in this sport. And, you know, I mean, my son who's racing may become the benefactor of that one day. Stewart, now only 1 second as Stewart begins celebrating, but he's pulled away from Sorby, who was getting close there at one point. So Lanovich, you know, I talked to him earlier in the week. He said, I want to get on the podium in the last couple of rounds. And guys that are pretty solid, I think they're going to always end up in the front. And, you know, if I had to put my money on somebody right this moment, I'd have to lay a little more on James. He's just... The no-hander, I can pull that. I did that when I won my first Supercross. The double fist pump, that's a little tricky.
Double rocks. Well, it's a final charge of the line for 259, the winner of the 125.
For battle, no question about that. This is where he is unbelievable. The wheels don't drop more than a few inches down to the that I can recall. He's run the #1 plate, and so far so good, Todd.
And currently running in second, number 917, Eric Sorby, a great rider. He has been practicing with James Stewart. He says sometime 3, 4, 5 positions back. It looks like he's going to pick up another one right here on number 18, Brock Stout.
Are deep this week. They're about 8 feet across the tops, from top to top. And AMA rulebook, although most of the teams didn't know, in fact, quite a few riders came here to race. If you raced even one West Coast race, you weren't. And I talked to a couple mechanics during the day, and they said there are some debris. You were looking at James Bubba Stewart, number 259. He is leading 125. James Bubba Stewart brings it around as we're on the final lap, 125, heat number 1. This 2 seconds faster than anybody else. Watch him in the woods, skimming the top. North, watch the run. Stewart to the outside. He does. He is just such an absolute natural, and I hate to use up all my superlative adjectives on the kid, but watch this pass. skimming the whoops. You see Brock drop down just a little bit. James is smart. He gets set to lap number 84, and that is Tyson Hadsall, who sits in 15th place stadium. But Bubba is definitely back as he blitzes through the whoop section. Once are perfect, and you know what? He gets into second place, but he definitely had to make a... Bubba cuts underneath on the gas, goes to first. And Josh Hansen looking like he went 25 main event, number 259, James Bubba Stewart. He's just getting set to make his first pass. He definitely does look like it. And, you know, being in the hospital, not feeling well, you would have thought maybe, you know, maybe someone could be...
Now.
So just 4 laps ago, this young man, helmet cam on. Steve Boniface right now currently sitting in 3rd place. James Stewart out in front.
Out to Steve Lamson. The guy's a multi-time outdoor champion, and he's
he's at a time. But this young man, only 18 years of age. James Bubba Stewart, number 259 on board. This is he going to have tonight for us.
Yeah, get the cardboard out. He's going to do some breaking.
Look, he's
Stewart goes to the front of the pack, and this is the trucks Kawasaki. We said that a time or two. This is talking about Jay to do a world of good, keeping this chase alive for a title. I'm here at the Edward Jones Dome. He said whoever puts out
on the podium if you can't win it. Right now, it doesn't look like anybody's going to...
Today, he looks fantastic.
For a sweep of the East, I know it's still a little bit premature to say that.
Lewis after this short break.
Had some adversity with some fighting before, and James just flies by one.
Oh! Kawasaki behind him, including this man, James Bubba Stewart, who puts the blitzkrieg on and goes for look hungry like a man who does not have a title in his pocket already.
And James, we talked to, watch him coming into the whoops, carry the speed. You see the way he sets up, different than Kelly Smith. Kelly doing more of a wheelie, get on top. James just blitz, carry the speed. Can he just blitz him? Oh, even when he starts to follow them.
Stewart, the 125 East champion, he already secured that honor to Team Chevy Trucks Kawasaki. The young man is only 18 years of age, folks, but I'll tell you what.
You know, he's one of those guys, like I talked about, his attitude, fun, free-flowing.
He's been working with Stewart. He picked up the Butterfinger hole shot, and like MX Unleashed, he has raced everything out here in Nutley Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Get your tickets now for the Dave Coombs Sr. East-West Shootout.
There's also a 250 guy doing it, but in the 125, it is James. The question is, does he have anything for James now? Is he going to follow and try to find the lines, try to see what James is doing? But watching him practice today, James Stewart was so incredibly fast and finding them in the last chance qualifier. Everybody gets on,
but I think once he got the thing rolling, he was all business.
Remember, it's slippery out there just a little bit. Ryder getting lapped, looking back. Last whoop section, watching this
15 lap affair, and Stefan Roncada fires the first shot. Here comes Bubba Stewart on the inside. Brock
runs the speed. We'll see if he sets him up. He does. He goes to the inside. See if he can get up there, but he can't. Roncada faster through that whoop section.
Stefan Roncada able to hold.
And right now, James has that inside line. Let's watch it.
Oh, what a move!
How smart was that? Roncada stops outside.
I think everyone out there probably wondering, does Stefan Roncada have 15 hard laps in it?
Well, that's been one of the questions all year long. We've seen him in front. We've seen him run great in the heat races, but he seems...
Roncada gave him some kind of look. Roncada has since been on a tear, shutting him down at every corner. I think Stewart still has some tricks up his sleeve, but when we come back to Las Vegas, the battle rings through before. But James now, once again, in pouncing position, Cameron.
And he's looking to get to the inside lines, and you know one thing I'm looking at right now is Roncada's not looking back. He's trying to race ahead, but...
On board Kawasaki, when he makes the jump to the next Supercross season, he goes to 250. The battle for third, a good one. Ivan Tedesco currently sitting third with Nathan Ramsey in fourth.
He wants some of it. I cannot believe how fast he has closed the distance. Now, Ricky Carmichael did that to Chad Reed. Chad Reed left him when that happened. You want this? I'll take it. You know, I'll take second spot right now and see where you're going, maybe. Well, Chad Reed, where everybody else was going to the outside. Series, he's in second spot right now in this 250cc heat race. That's because...
Well, the track, the whoops were perfect when the night started. Completely smooth, flush, every line, no grooves. But look, you've seen some grooves kicking up. His rear wheel gets sideways.
Oh,
he throws it. I mean, the kid is strong. He muscled that bike right there. The back end chopped out, the front end chopped, and he just grunted it out and used that muscle and just showed that.
But it's James Stewart leading Ricky Carmichael now. It looks like when the back
closes the gap real quick up on Carmichael and takes away. But now Carmichael closes the gap over deteriorate. Look at him go through the whoops right here. Perfect angle.
Bubba just turned a 52. Carmichael, there's the onboard. James Bubba Stewart going through the whoops one more time.
He just crashed. I can't believe it. I thought he'd be out front. He could just kind of settle into a pace, and down Stewart goes.
Third, he was our leader until this happened, did he?
Check it out, Robbie. You see him jump up on the step up into the whoops. He's fourth gear pin, drops the front end. The bars are ripped from his hands, and man, down he goes. What a violent crash.
Let's take a look at it through the onboard camera. Great shot here.
Yeah, when you're going this fast, Robbie, any mistake, the slightest mistake is just amplified 10 times, and he just goes down just like he did in practice.
He said it didn't happen to Chad Reed. That money race, little mechanical failure. What did he finish?
16th. What an incredible ride. He's been gone for 8 weeks, and he comes back.
We saw Reed going by Fonseca. We're just now seeing Stewart do that.
Well, we get this main event. He raced number 2.
Well, I mean, he had a tremendous advantage on the start.
He's racing right now with the purpose of getting that main event, and James Stewart, you see him kind of make spot. Well, we've heard from Chad Reed in Orlando. Like he said, man, I'm pretty content running. And here comes Carmichael up the inside.
And they're trying to get him to relax, but I don't know. Fatigue might be an issue. Keep an eye.
We've had Jean-Michel Vail back in 90 win here. Jimmy Ellis at 75, and then the big mud race leading so far. He's going to complete his 17th lap next time around 2002. James looked to be the fastest, the cream of the crop. He was a young rookie, James. Away, next thing you know, his front wheel was taken out from under it. One more time through the
lead. Travis Preston sits in second. Then he.
Well, it looks like right now on the lap times that James is going about a half on a year.
Nick Way with a good point there on the left-hand side of your screen. That is your leader.
Down a faster lap time. Now his lap times are coming back in. James Stewart
now is some soft berms getting pushed out, and maybe the lines are a little better.
All together right now.
Wyndham, Moss, and Carmichael, your top 3. Look at Bubba. Don't see him going back positions very often.
Definitely not in a period of time with an injury.
Carmichael gets a Moss now separated right in between them. James Stewart sitting in third. Chad Reed now.
Yeah, but when he comes around, here it is the traffic. There's James Stewart right there.
Okay, he's in a battle with Ricky Carmichael, and here's where it happened.
You see him blitzing through the whoops. He's going to go to the inside. Look at him. You see the tire just start to wash a bit.
In your screen, and you can see it's close. Let's watch him skim the whoops off the Dragon's back. James, inside, but hey, he leaves space. He left space for Chad.
It turned to 49.05. He almost beat it by a full second, Cameron.
So James Stewart, a man. Now it's fresh. We'll see some faster times. But as the night progresses, we will see it break down a bit. We'll see it get loose in the whoops. We'll see more tires dropping in the front because
To see if he's able to turn it up. I don't know if you give it away in the heat race. I say you wait till the main event.
Oh, and you see James Stewart coming a little bit short there off that Dragon's back. We talked about that being a little bit
Slippery. They hit into that flat left-hand turn.
getting by a lapper there and over that double. Both riders cleanly through it. Now back into the whoop section. The confidence these two riders got. And here we go through the whoops. You can see it off the Dragon's back, and he yard sails off the top of the motorcycle. A bar hop, so to speak. Jumps right over. Watch him clip, and he jumps over. A great save by James Stewart Jr.
Chad Reed. I mean, Bubba's been fast, but it was Reed who's had the most points. It's Bubba who would have been second and Carmichael in third, but everybody talks about how fast Bubba's been since he's been back, but it's Reed who's actually been the most possible there. James Stewart trying to get by Jason Thomas. Thomas in 7th. That's how far he's lapped up to. And James Stewart, I mean, his last lap was a 51.6. He's still turning fast lap times. Reed had a
lost time, and Mike LaRocco on the 5 right behind him on the wrap, who we'll be seeing racing here in a little while. Told me earlier.
You see the yellow flags in the whoop section. A lot of guys going down those.
Side. Stewart.
Carmichael,
spot away.
Carmichael gave Stewart way too much respect right there, and then just blow. Oh, and Fonseca goes down through the rhythm section, throwing up old Stewart.
Chad Reed has the lead. Carmichael sits in second. Stewart. Unbelievable pace being set by these 3 riders right now, and we've talking. Have we seen everything out of him yet?
Carmichael do the whoops.
Practiced, tested, rode hard every day over the holiday break. Getting your leader. We'll be back with more from Anaheim right after this on CBS.
break from those 2 Canadian rounds, the Christmas break. They got to go home, do their homework. McGrath did not have that benefit back in the day. So I think that those guys have gone home. They've got him an awesome motorcycle, and they have an incredible rider.
As James Stewart worked his way up through the ranks of coming on to win the biggest race of the year for Supercross.
Ryan Clark, if he has any hopes of catching up to Fonseca.
Coming back to the birthplace of Supercross here in Southern California, Stewart has caught the back of the field and is starting to lap his way through the pack.
The word they're saying was almost easy, but it shows that there's a lot of corner speed. The place to make up grounders in the corners, and James Stewart is a man when it comes to corner speed. He
can hold on to get a podium position here this weekend. This place will go crazy. There's James Stewart behind fans in the crowd, but Denny, that's not the quickest way. You need to get the wheels back on the ground, driving forward.
Yeah, the quicker you can get back down on the ground, getting it.
Taking place while we were watching the highlight of the start, and look at the balance, though, as he catches it. Even when things go terribly
times. But one thing why these guys are able to go this pace is because they're ahead of the motorcycle by about 5 clicks. They know what the bike's can do it. I don't know if you quite expected something like that.
On even playing field. Early on in the year, with the first 2 rounds up in Canada, Stewart just seemed to have the speed. Distracted when you know your number 1 nemesis is right on your tail.
Yeah, as soon as he starts making mistakes, you can see him when they come out of the corner. You can hear him reclaiming losses, trying to get through these lap traffic when you're going so much faster than these other guys. This could be dangerous.
Just past the halfway point here in Anaheim, and Stewart and Carmichael putting on each other's pace. Hanging in the 44-second range. Oh! Stewart with a huge bobble, and Carmichael can't capitalize. Here he comes.
Look at Carmichael. A little bit more ground.
Here's where Bubba bobbled the last time. James Bubba Stewart through that loop section. He gets through there clean. Stayed in the West after the last week in Phoenix. Came out to Southern California. Chad Reed, who was stuck back in 3rd, is going to end up 2nd. And James Stewart
went down there in that 2nd corner. Stewart was up front. Ivan Tedesco had more James Stewart. And look at James, my goodness.
Just kind of taking it easy. Reed is in 3rd. This will certainly change things at the top.
Very fast track. It's a very long track. A lot of time, a lot of rooms.
Nick Way has the position on the 27th, and that's going to go to James Stewart. That's not enough to get a straight transfer to the main event. Gets past Reed, stands him up in the corner. So Stewart just...
Jeez, do what he's doing right now.
Almost a full second slower. Stay with us. We're coming back with more.
This whoop section's challenging coming through this final lap. I think this is a good one to have to ride extra lap. This weekend, his goal is going to be obviously...
Nothing wrong on this night so far for James Stewart. Look at him riding that rear wheel all the way through the whoops.
That's, we saw him do...
And maybe, or maybe not, Chad Reed.
Yeah, I don't know. Chad Reed's got a lot of things to go back.
He is one of the best showmen in the business, working his way through the whoops.
You know, James is interesting right now. He laid down some really fast lap times.
Into the whoops. And Carmichael completes the path.
He can open up that lead on Chad Reed.
Let's go back and take a look at the progression.
Better be 100%.
He's got a comfortable lead for now. We're coming back for more after this.
2 wheels more often, and he would have been riding this points hunt. Right now, he's racing for pride, and keep that momentum going as we head into Detroit next.
Home in the Pontiac Silverdome. Now they're going on to the new home of the Detroit Lions, place that hosted the Super Bowl just a track in Haines City, Florida.
Stewart puts Kevin Windham a lap down. Kevin's currently in 9th.
Reed is
no battle for Ricky Carmichael's winning the war.
Through the whoops one final time. Coming up, he'll have another trip through.
It's on right now between Reed and James.
And here comes Stewart.
Wait and see what the officials say.
Up to the rider's discretion. His lap time. It just keeps getting quicker and quicker every lap.
Yeah, this needs to get himself up in the box sometime by the end of the season.
Celebrating. Very good out of the gate all night, and you got to wonder how long it's going to take for Carmichael
to see him because he got buried in traffic. He put an aggressive move on Byrne. He has not been lapsed.
Travis Preston and Stewart. 42-7. Taking place between the top 2 guys in the championship chase. They both ride the operations you can get, but he said, I really have no excuses for not winning.
Yeah, within the shorter, these guys are running the mid-40s when they're usually running about mid-50s, so they're going to...
That meeting earlier this morning and all the tension that was there. The one rider I was work cut out to win the championship, but speed is not something James is worried about.
Big four-stroke motorcycles refired. You have to go to the semifinal.
Victory is James Stewart. Full shot goes to Ivan Tedesco.
Stoff going into there.
Josh Shumney.
Now this is the story right here. Number 7, James Stewart.
He's AMA Supercross Championship out of James Stewart.
Here he's out front, just setting blistering laps. 56.6 that last lap. Main event.
But he said, to win a title, you have to do damage control, and that's what Chad Reed, and let everybody know he's going to be the guy to beat this year.
It's 20 laps here on that shoulder. He can rest tomorrow.
Look at Stewart.
The crowd here in Anaheim are loving this. This is what they all came to see. Ooh, big
second place.
And this is just what Stewart didn't need to do. He fell again. He was.
Let's see if we can figure out what
had to battle, and he's got it coming.
There he goes. Boy, that is a move that James Stewart came up with. Continues to lead here in Anaheim.
Fall earlier in the race. Getting through the whoops there.
Fall down just when you think it's all over. He's able to get up. It's not really going to help them so much here in Anaheim.
Not at this point. Everybody.
Hard areas is where we should see that power help filament a photo earlier in the night. I don't know if the's ever been more hype around.
He's doing one-handers through the rhythm section before the triple. It doesn't. Bad luck. And first rhythm section.
Being attended to. I had a long conversation with James.
Michael needed this to get battle for the main of year.
Carmichael ended up winning the...
These 450s are just amazing machines. Way on the left-hand side.
That front wheel, you can believe that.
And one of the things as James rides, the track seems like it's as they complete the first lap, but they were being real nice anywhere except going backwards.
Consistent over the course of the year, but in specific areas.
The low 41s, they're a couple seconds off right now. That just shows himself. And watch Ricky Carmichael's lines.
Bingo, Jeff, is it's very difficult to pressure Ricky.
Making himself a line on the inside each lap.
Here comes Stewart. He's got to pass that time. Now, can Carmichael mount a challenge?
And Ricky was still he was driving
at the last round.
Stewart just comes into these whoops so fast. He just entered with so much speed. So good. We stayed up there.
Has closed the gap back up on
a bit of mental focus. He just shows so much speed, and if you look at certain races,
boy, it has been a rough night for Kevin Windham. And here is and Tedesco and him get together.
That was very interesting.
Through that corner two and into the wood section. So incredibly fast is this young rider.
He carries a lot of momentum, and you can definitely read.
Wade trying to get away, but here comes Stewart. Look at him split through the pack. Here comes Nick Wade, James Stewart. At that time, Ricky, he didn't wheelie all the way through, but here comes Reed.
And then just cuts to the inside here.
Now watch this, guys. I mean, that is just... I mean, if his rear wheel didn't hit that one whoop, I mean, it looked like he made a little mistake there. Here's James.
And I'd be on the big bike, and I'd be the winner, and Ricky would have lap times almost as fast as mine. Everybody was like...
I think a step in James Stewart's career here tonight. That's a very big one. He is really doing it. I don't think we can overstate this enough.
Good, though. He's made mistake-free. And I really thought Chad would have more. They got out right together, and man, James just got out there.
Actually credited with the whole shot. Here comes Stewart. Boy, there he is on the number 7 Kawasaki out front.
I imagine the guys back at the Monza Energy Kawasaki team are not going to change a thing. Top 3 fastest superclimbers in the world out front.
Physical race, and he held Stewart off.
Well, as we've seen all night here in San Francisco, you can sense the crowd when they start hyping. You don't know what's going on behind you.
Here comes Stewart.
Put in there. He may save him for this next lap. He's going to be retired after this season.
Chad Reed won the...
Turned around and get it to the inside, stuck by everybody. That was...
Now, can anybody get up there and run with it?
This is not something that we predicted.
And Stewart comes right back and shuts him off.
whip section, Stewart just gets the drive, and he's going to cut straight across to the inside.
He's feeling 100% healthy. Remember, he's seriously in. So many people thought that when Ricky makes to Chad Reed. Meanwhile, there's James Stewart, our Here he comes.
The crowd's coming alive. He might be able to steal a win here.
This could be huge.
Good. His whoop speed is so much faster than anybody else working, and he's extremely talented. You know, it's a new generation of riders. Look at there, he wheelies in, stable.
He's a fearless rider. He's not afraid to do any jumps. He's not afraid to get close to different.
Can do some work now. He's got a clear track, and his arch rival is right here. Looky there, wheelies in. Oh! I got it going.
That is total commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he wheelied in.
Take a look here. He gets a little bit sideways. Just to have the whoop section with so much more momentum.
Oh, man.
And he lands hard on that jump.
Oh.
But I tell you who's got a great ride going. The Stewart's team.
Stewart leads, but let's go back and
Now the inside looks like it.
Travis Preston was involved in that crash. He's up and away. But Chad Reed leads him, and look at Stewart coming up.
I'll tell you what, Stewart was
So Stewart up front.
Rhythm section in 3 jumps. I think this was something that he was saving for the main. He seems to be, he's about a half a second faster.
Happened to Boss. Once you see Stewart come by, you know. Now these leaders are lapping inside the... or see till the very last second.
This is true, and you see him right here. Tedesco caused that. He went down in the sand.
The 118, Davey Millsaps, he's running in 5th. And guess what? James Stewart coming like a freight train. Look.
You got James Stewart just turned to 44.7, so 0.4 of a second faster, and he's coming through traffic even. That rhythm section does the 3-3-1 because that's going to be the faster line.
Look at how far he goes through the whoops. I mean, he goes by Ramsey like he's not even there. On a mission here tonight. In front of these two is Ricky Carmichael. But then again, since Carmichael's not running the entire season, getting just around Chad Reed is like a win at 8. I should say Ricky Carmichael's best, a 44.8. Stewart's best, a 44.4.
For the last lap across the finish line, Carmichael and Stewart were 7.8 seconds apart.
And it had been 10 seconds prior to that, so Stewart has picked up about 2.5 seconds.
Now that it's so important, if you want to be Supercross champion, you go out and win some races, because what Stewart's done tonight is they're all this bad luck.
Obstacle.
And you works on a lot of strength training. That's what pays off here at Daytona, because these 450s are big. He shut off and had Stewart on his inside. That allowed Lewis there. He chose a different line that time. He stayed a little wider.
His rise up through the list of the great names of Supercross. Michael are running here tonight. The main event.
For the on earlier, because he seems to be riding this main event just like in this forward body positioning, all this momentum over the triples and doing the scrub. Reed missed the triple. I don't know what he did there. He is very lucky. But Stewart was over the years have so much focused on lap by about 0.4 of a second, right there in the whoop section right now. Watch how much speed Stewart carries across there, close right.
You mentioned McGrath, and now he had to change his game to match Stewart.
He's going to carry a lot of momentum. Look how fast he comes out of the turn, wide open on that 450 Cowie. You notice there's not too many lappers here now to help Ricky out as the turns. Stewart's strength, the whoop section. Look how far he pulls out right now. This is amazing. This is what these guys live for, what they've trained their whole back in.
How much fun can they be having right now? Final race. Aaron, what an amazing
seasoned veteran. You see Wyndham pulling out of the way, letting this race happen. Pulls the tear off. He knows this is it. He's got to hit this whoop section. Good to stay.
Guys, an upsetting moment for Kevin Wyndham here.
Confident in his abilities. In fact, we told the fans to watch that. He understands it, says he even kind of enjoys. Gets hit by Josh Subby even.
Now what he's not used to, the reason Stewart about James Stewart going through traffic, he is
taps behind him on the 118, and Andrew Short just in front of him. 4th.
Millman in the white riding gear.
He just goes blast through the entry, goes by Millman like he's standing. Run up there, chase down his teammate Ferry. See if he can keep that gap.
Fight of his teammate, that's Ferry in the red riding gear.
And that is where Stewart started out.
Through traffic as well. And when you and I ran into Chad Reed,
racer is typically a good racer if you're not comfortable and happy. Right now, he's losing.
Panicking though, Jeff. He's just reeling them in. Since where Stewart is so fast.
Now watch right there. He came through the crazy.
There's no way of answering that, is there?
There just isn't. It's about a second a lap, and you can see that was worth about 4 bike lengths.
This crowd here is on their feet. Through.
Now it's not often that a rider practice, maybe in your heat race, but Chad picked up on that was.
And Andrew Short in front of him. Reed looking like he's going to have to settle for his 14th top 5 in this series as James Stewart makes his way to the checkered flag and the win here in 6 of Michael Byrne.
Here comes number 7, main event. Got it dialed in.
Chad Reed, second fourth on the Honda, and it's good to see Team Honda.
Guys have figured out where the traction, where the tacky clay is.
That's where I like one race.
Yeah, but that was a mistake that he made on his own, but didn't feel that good. Wasn't really comfortable. Man,
that didn't take long.
Took the lead with only a couple laps to go. That was one of the more impressive rides. James is dialed in here tonight.
Really great sign as to how well he's riding.
Now, might not be able to ride those wide lines like he did when the track was really good in the, back in the heat race. You get the lap board every lap.
Let's go back and take a look at our progressive direct hole shot read. Making his way past the 18 machine now. That's Brock Sellards.
Third, second. It really wears on you, but Chad's a great champion that we have and keeps streaking.
And getting one step closer to retaining his Mobile World Supercross GP crown.
Both those Kawasaki's, Ferry was to the first turn first, coming down the heat. That's only the first quarter of a lap. He is definitely dialed in here.
Reed ran a 106.9.
A 105.4.
His Kawasaki has had that crown, and they wanted it back in the worst way. James did go out and win slouch, and he's 17 and a half seconds behind this man. Into the whoop section.
Chad Reed right now has...
Stewart, you think a little surprised he hasn't been able to shake Reed yet? A 4.5 second, almost 5 second lead over Chad Reed.
Oh, and you see what James Stewart...
This is that section you were talking about.
Oh, doesn't jump it. See how he did the double, then the...
Your color scheme, how about sparkles like that? Do you ever wear rhinestones?
Never wanted to
give you credit for winning the first ever electric supercross the other night here in Vegas. Top 7, and that was a 17th at St. Louis.
And there's Bonds and A-Rod, the way that their stats are from the age and age, I feel like I have a good chance if I...
Very impressive, but definitely something that I think is obtainable for James.
And that's the AMA championship. We need to make that distinction.
I don't think I've seen a rider that's been so dialed in as James here lately. This is an awesome win. Right now, he seems to be very patient, choosing some different lines. And that one, he just overtook, and it has been very successful.
And here comes Stewart. He's been recovering.
Riding very smooth. I think he's riding a great race.
Are you saying you think he's accepted the fact he might not win, or do you think he's still in third?
And getting back to this gap between the 22 and the 7, last lap time around the finish.
But we're not even halfway yet.
About that, I would be very surprised if he does any sort of pull-over move. He's just going to make sure that he rides smart, doesn't make any mistakes.
To the board for James Stewart now.
And that time around,
James Stewart, he's got 10 laps to go. He's halfway home. Mentally and physically.
Very tough, but he's just seat bouncing that. Chad Reed is putting in a great ride. Dropped his lap time that time. Maybe he hit some lappers. Maybe he made him off at this point.
Oh, no way.
All right.
I didn't write him off at all coming into the season.
All the talk here, pre-race, it all comes down to this. If it finishes up like this, he's only 3 points off of the lead. Coming back for weeks.
He doesn't want to stop that streak anytime soon. Is this where Reed gets it back? They fight from last year that he won the championship with. And his heat race, he didn't look very good in the heat. He's running fourth now. And look at Stewart.
Number 800 of Michael Lessie ended up getting his...
If you think about it, that pressure is going to keep James Stewart focused on a race and not focused on being well. He certainly proved to me at the race in Seattle where, even his dad said James only knows how to ride one way. Yes. He's at least got 8 or 9 hole shots this season.
Ricky, we had so much controversy this week after Salt Lake City. Potential team tactics, did Kyle Chisholm see what the gap is between him and Reed?
Last lap around, Reed was the fastest rider on the track.
Philip, the gap is this time over the jump. It's 3 seconds between Stewart and Reed. He is definitely closing.
Absolutely. Conservative about is Chad going to try something when he catches up to it?
Well, and that and letting his guard down too. Both riders have spoke that they want to win this thing clean,
Now Reed.
Fans are certainly excited.
Reed is right there. Into the woods. And where's Reed?
Can you believe it? Ryan Dungey stepping up.
Season and anything can happen.
Let's go to Aaron with Chad Reed.
Guys, a devastating moment for Chad.
We'll watch the main event from the sidelines. This is the first time for me ever.
Tough day for Chad Reed. Regroup. We'll see you back next weekend.
Well, we have quarter of the way in, scheduled for 20 laps. Stewart has not been able to get around Dungey yet.
It doesn't even point to where you're going down a section of the track and you turn, and once you can see that you've made it through the turn and the guy is behind
pace, only wide open and always being on the edge. This is a more mature James Stewart. We've always seen at your concentration level, it's hard to ride too easy.
No,
right?
Absolutely. And we all know, and James will even tell you that
he was a little bit faster that last lap. Stewart's starting to pour it on now.
He has to, Jeff. He cannot come out of here without a win, especially.
If he's tight, you got to brake early, roll through the turns, try not to charge too hard. As you can see, James, it's not.
Look at that!
Come on, Ryan, you got to go. Let it be no mistake. Whatever happens, Ryan Dungey is.
He said, you know what? Let me see how far back I can go. Okay, 4 seconds. Let me see if I can reel him in now.
Well, absolutely. And he's trying to make it fun.
Going to be key to this.
Yep. Look at this.
Here he comes.
He needs to
He's
go.
not done. Dungey going for it.
Oh!
Moment for Reed right now, Jeff. And they got Wyndham. In fact, it's a fight back. We got Stewart in 10th right now.
And it's only James knows that pain that's inside as the pain if he doesn't win this championship. That's where he's had a couple setbacks, and Chad Reed just doesn't seem to be riding with either of those. Watch coming through the whoops here. Watch Reed goes to the right, goes to the inside and just cuts down. Oh, you notice the other riders get stopped up there. That was Millsaps and Brayton, and it just kind of bottled up.
Everybody talks about on paper, it's all about James Stewart. Yes, it is. He is by far. This is why we line him up in the gate and run 17 races, because you just meet through. Going back to the Heat 2 start, just couldn't get any worse. He is now 15th, 1 lap down.
And mentally block out the pain and go for every point possible. Champion James Stewart.
And here comes his teammate Josh Hill and Stroop to the inside, and Hill powers his way into second. Look, and remember, Stroop isn't going to be running. Great job and acting like he on the track. And he's running in fourth. Oh, he almost got into him. Jeff, we heard that when you got to hold onto those bars, pounding through these whoops like this. Still not there.
And find him. So here they go, side by side.
Wow, look at Stewart by Hill. What an incredible job by the Feld Motorsports crew. They worked so hard and tirelessly through the torrential rains this week to provide his way through them if he wants the lead.
Both teammates hard, but hey, once you get out there, there really is no team. You're riding for yourself. But what I see,
and Andrew Short said, I need to find more
triple in that rhythm section there. And what a story Hill is to be out here
got it together. Larry Brooks giving him an opportunity to get on this team. There's just, but look how he's just on the gas, dude. He waits nowhere. I think Stewart's got it.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, man. Dodging.
Not even on my level, you know? Why are they up here?
What a performance.
I'm telling you, thousands of fans here at Anaheim.
Is it for Villapoto to be able to catch Stewart here tonight?
James Stewart.
Well, when I was racing him, I would just...
Between first and second, last lap around was only 1 second.
Yeah, he'll get the groove.
Next lap right around, still a little bit of space, but he's won 37 main events. Okay, so Stewart knows how to get it done. But the key here for Villapoto, last lap around, Stewart was a 49.2, Villapoto a 49
guy when you're behind him.
And let's remember, go back a year ago. Stewart goes on and wins this thing. We've seen Villapoto win. We've seen Stewart win.
And now he just can kind of get in the groove and put in 20 solid.
And as we were talking about earlier, falling out of that sky lead. His teammate needing a really good start. Dungy out of the lead. Stewart getting past Wyndham. Brayton runs in third. Here, but Dungy won the title. You can't take it away from him. But now Stewart's trying to do just that.
Stewart's so quick through the whoops. He tries the inside. He done triple.
And they're on Stewart.
Can you believe this?
Could be the best race of the year.
Help those riders achieve the championship. Now he's with the number 2 of Ryan Villapoto, and midway through the race, who is it?
Kind of stuck to the side of his helmet. Looks like he didn't get it all the way off.
I tell you what, Ralph, all 4 of these riders have shown a tremendous get 2011 back on track.
Jeff, he was second at the first race in Anaheim, but that second feels way different than this one. But he's got to stay there.
These are the finishing. Stewart to the inside.
Oh,
right
strong
now.
move.
Wow. He had the Yamaha wound up and the rear end got out on him a little.
They do. They go around Tedesco.
Last lap around, the gap between Villapoto and Stewart was 3.8 seconds. I mean, could you think of any other?
Yeah.
Both riders last lap around were in the 51-second lap time range. So these riders have been, Stewart is so close. There's your gap. One lap, final round of qualifying practice here today came out. And he heard
James Stewart now getting ready to put a lap on Jason Thomas.
Another rider down that looks like close.
38. Yeah, close. Continuing to lead here at Anaheim. That we've seen James put out the most dominating performance.
You know, tonight was set up by him getting the start as he was able to squirt away a little bit. Stewart, this really is about putting in a great effort, charging all 20 laps and just exhausting all of your energy. But right here.
Here he comes.
Oh, he gets
Stewart.
the hops. And he's out of the points a little bit, Trey Kennard, right? The fastest rider on the track.
Halfway through this one, and Chad is 6.5 seconds.
And they're both turning in faster lap times than Stewart as Stewart, a little mistake right there. So we'll see if any sense of urgency.
Seed is right there with him. So the two.
There's all-time in Supercross. Only one win separated, just trying to really study what these riders are doing and seeing who's going to make a mistake.
Reed out front. Just under a second between Reed up front leading in front of Stewart. And that gap has grown.
And now he's convincingly leading to Georgia, though.
He could be a candidate for our Roxy.
He knows how to win these races. Jeff, you can talk about it. When you know you can
He was 3/10 quicker on that last lap, Stewart was.
Okay, watch right here.
Here comes Stewart. Oh! So close, but no contact. They've been very respectful of each other.
Blue flags are flying, and it's
both riders with a lot to prove this year. And they're giving
to 46.7 is his best. Reed's best is a 40 state. How about it, fans? We're bringing it to you live. Grief about talking about lap riders, but that was exactly what I'm talking about.
And now Reed.
Oh,
they're both down. They're both down. Where's Villapoto? Where's Villapoto? There he goes. Ryan Villapoto is mine. Dungey's right there. Where's that? Checker flag falls for Ryan Filippono.
Dungey gets by for second.
Reed gets by. Oh my God! Dungey gets second. Wow! And that shoved him into.
Look at.
This is how you do that, Jeff.
Watch what he does. Nobody's done this all day. Pre-jumps it and just makes it over the rooftop. Oh, it's dangerous.
Maybe you only need to do it one time.
It takes to try to win the championship. Right there's that hot line. And look at that.
Stewart does each and every time they drop the. And these two have a history, but Tedesco cannot capitalize on it.
Regroup. Can he get focused and finish off this main event? Dungey with that mistake with a 48.9, so that's almost a whole second.
Nobody, Jeff, in the top four has done. Dungey has been. You betcha he can, because a week ago in Daytona, he was forever.
And maybe not in line, but it starts to affect you mentally. Stewart, of course, laying down.
Takes him high and gets around.
Stewart has really caught Chadway.
Those two draw together every night, don't they?
Yeah, no love lost here.
He's got to get past it. Stewart's gonna go past Metcalf, and let's.
Filippono get around Metcalf for sixth. Here's Stewart.
His way through these lap traffic. And on a night like tonight, they are really bad in the heat race. Not open the door for Stewart or Filippono.
And that's the 20.
And shot. Plus, they added a rear tire.
I'm trying to grasp what's going on here. I was trying to see if Reed was going to make a.
He was feeling the pressure and being back at the point. It was going to be the first time all year that he's been off the podium. He cannot work his way up to be expected for round one. You know, Jeff, one of the things that James won with he leave Northern California and head back to Angels the season, and I thought maybe Brayton was going to be in trouble. Look at Stewart just swallowing Dungey up in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And you go back to Filippono. Into this whoop section.
Ralph, you notice he lost traction in both front and rear tire coming out of that first turn. That's where he went down earlier today. Grant, Dungey, Brayton, and Stewart really starting to close up as Stewart goes by.
Season opening event in Anaheim. What an emotional night.
Pass both of these guys.
He's got the inside position on Grant. Block out this crowd noise because the way that Stewart's closing up on.
Cool shot.
Now, how's Reed going to hang on here? His old nemesis.
You know,
not
in a season.
What will the Australian do? How will he counter?
Ironic, in all of our pre-race meetings we have, I felt that Rock Supercross opener went on.
Look at Stewart carrying the speed.
With 45 wins under his belt. Stewart has
Stewart loses in the whoops. The 250s.
Here we go, right here. Go, just one whoop and things go sideways. He was so good, had all the momentum. Watch it just kick out to the right.
It kicks sideways.
Bam.
See, those whoops have ruts in them, okay? Those whoops.
Night in Anaheim a week ago.
Okay, Ricky, you had a chance.
Barsha closes in, and then Filippono and Stewart battling on anybody going to be able to catch Dungey. Remember how it
didn't do that one section.
To say about this win before this 20 laps is over also.
Stewart felt heel pipe.
Well, the Roczen is sandwiched between.
Biggest problem for the KTM team, the whoop section. Stewart, meanwhile,
Roczen getting a little winded.
A point to get back in the fight. Something happens, he can find himself on the podium again here in Anaheim.
3.2.
As much grip in his drive as you can.
7.5 laps.
He's smooth.
Duke it out here in Southern California, the birthplace
inside. Now Stewart has fended off the attack of Ryan. Let's just, you know, he's trying to keep it all in check, not get too. I'm telling you guys, I've seen Chad ride like this. Chad Reed was 6th across the finish line on the first lap.
Talking about it all night. These turns lend themselves to nice stuff.
Main.
Well, the thing is if you
time, and that's not really like Ryan Filippono. So let's see if he.
Wow. And Stewart has caught up to Reed.
Ride these lap times all the way to the finish. So.
You're saying, okay, I don't need to take that risk right now. I need to do what I do best.
That's the only way he could have gained the track position to make that pass. So here in the zone, he's winning races. He believes he can win. He believes he should win every week.
Orange KTM and Barsha on the red Honda. Stewart's for it big time.
Right up on the back wheel of James Stewart.
Usually in their transporters, sometimes they'll go in there. him, and James Stewart trying to fight his way back through on his yellow.
Picks his way up to fourth after a bad gate. Stewart, Villopoto going for the run.
The availability of lines on this racetrack here tonight. The Super start to go in 2013. Both of them. Oh, Moss, who won his semi, out of the
three-time reigning champion. He's that way because he knows how
to testing this week, and they said they found some things right.
I think, you know, if I'm in this race right now, Villopoto's in
his way to winning, and he falls with the lead. Time for redemption here to
Dungy.
Yeah, it's really, so you can see
his career comfortable at riding behind someone right there.
Another guy looking for a win here this year is Brayton, who's back-to-back wins. Came in Seattle and St. Louis.
Not if he's still winning, but I mean, he's got
Brown Schmidt. That makes him 21st.
Yeah, he's gonna eat
that two-race win streak.
There he goes, jumping through the whoop.
Well, as they run right now, all of the top six would possibly
Villopoto.
He's been the fastest each time through here all day long. Stewart's been right there with him, but just a click off.
Getting gear on him.
Something's locking up, and the bike is not moving.
Meanwhile,
obviously, I mean, if he's staying on the couch, staying in bed, might have been suffering from some sort of illness. I mean, our SX Mo Cam here comes out of this, the second set of whoops as he gets right up on top and skims across. Notice how the bike moves and how still his head is. Everything else, his body, arms, legs, the motorcycle is moving all around, but his helmet is staying very still. Mistake by Stewart. Villopoto could end up winning this thing.
We'll see. Closing up on this. There he is. Career win 48.
For Dungy with Villopoto fading back on.
That is impressive.
Yes, this is why.
Because there's Roxon, here's Stewart, and James is on a charge.
Stewart needs to be patient through the whoops. No mistakes.
Full race course. Watch him in the whoops.
James has to switch up his line through the whoops. Back to the middle. Here tonight.
I mean, it was amazing, but there are two people on this track right now having championship rides. It's the number 7.
James Stewart, career win number 49, and it comes with an in Porsche. And they're all setting sail after
Stewart. However, as you can see, James is not going to let that happen.
Nope, Stewart right here. Stewart has got the speed. He accelerates down the left side.
Slower rider getting out of the way. Stewart into the woods. This is where he's...
Wow, Stewart, you can see Stewart's a little frustrated. He's trying to take a breath. You know, maybe right now is not the time I need to force this.
He's cuts inside, takes him wide. Oh, and Villopoto almost comes off the bike.
Yeah, and as watching Stewart, the big difference is he's just carried so much.
Just changed a couple things. Think about this. He had one in Anaheim, the season opener.
Puts him in a much different mindset this season.
Well, in talking to his dad,
there's a little pad there, but he is the leader. It's a little harder.
Yeah, but think about
Stewart can move into second of the points as he wins here tonight in St. Louis. James Stewart, career win number 50.
Pretty impressive ride once again by James Stewart, number 7 here. Fans of St.